Hello, guys. Welcome to TPW Talking Pro Wrestling, and it's time now for the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor predictions. Here is what is going to happen. We're going to make predictions for the every match that is currently on the card at the time of this recording. If there is something that is added, I will most certainly add it to the card, but I don't know. If there is something that is added last minute, though, at the time of this, after this episode is published, then, well, it's not going to be added. But, I'm going to start first with the Ring of Honor Pure Championship match, as I think this matchup will steal the show, honestly, as Daniel Garcia looks to take on Wheeler Yuta for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. This is going to be a good matchup, honestly. The Blackpool Combat Club and Jericho Appreciation Society obviously having did I say Blackpool Combat Club? If I didn't, then I meant to say it. Anyway, Blackpool Combat Club will take on taking on Jericho Appreciation Society as their big rivalry. So, in a match build, as a match-wise, it makes sense. And Daniel Garcia has had Pure Rules matchups. Plus, I just think that this works. I honestly think it works for this type of matchup. Daniel Garcia, he can be a Pure Rules wrestler someday. And I think that's what they're currently doing right now. So I think it's something cool that's going to happen here. My prediction here is that Wheeler Yuta retains the ROH Pure Championship. But I honestly think this could go either way. But yeah, let's move on now to the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, as Mercedes Martinez will defend against Serena Deeb. Now, this could go either way as well, because Mercedes retaining could give her more good matchups. But Serena becoming the women's champion works too, as I think Serena Deeb fits well into the Ring of Honor brand. I think Serena Deeb being the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion could work, and she could make a good women's title reign with it. So, the problem is I don't know who's going to win this. I don't have a definitive answer, but unfortunately for me, I have to choose soon. But both of these women are very talented, and they're very incredible. And the build up to this matchup made sense too, as they were tag team partners for a little bit. They had a couple of tag team matchups. They even had some tag team matchups on Rampage. But then Serena Deeb turned her back on Mercedes Martinez, leading to the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship matchup. And we kind of saw some foreshadowing, sort of, I guess, as we saw as we saw Serena Deeb look at Mercedes Martinez's Ring of Honor Women's World Championship pretty much after their first tag team matchup. So we knew the turn was going to happen someday. Plus, to be fair, Mercedes Martinez is a baby face, and Serena Deeb is a heel. So it really works. It really was weird seeing them tag team, and they were both acting really weird when they were tagging with each other. It was bound to happen. That turn happened. It was a good way to build for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship matchup. My prediction here is that Serena Deeb becomes the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. I'm probably going to regret saying that, though, by the time Death Before Dishonor ends. So, we'll see. And now let's go to the ROH Tag Team Championships, as the Briscoes look to take on FTR once again, but this time in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. I watched the video of the face-to-face interview between FTR and the Briscoes. It was pretty crazy. That's where the 2 out of 3 falls came into play. But I'm very excited to watch FTR and the Briscoes go at it again. FTR are a great tag team. They're 7-star FTR. And then there's the Briscoes, who are a very great tag team as well. As let's take a look at both of their careers, as FTR has done many great things, just even recently within AEW. But the Briscoes, they've been doing a lot of amazing stuff for Ring of Honor. They had they had an Impact run as the tag team champions. They've been wrestling over at GCW. They've been wrestling for a long time. I think FTR has too, if I'm not mistaken. Both of these teams have quite a lot of accomplishments. So the question here is, does FTR retain the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, or do the Briscoes get it back? I say, I say that if Warner Media is okay with the Briscoes now, I say they grab the Tag Team Championships back. But if they aren't, well then I think FTR will retain. But my prediction here is that 7-star FTR remain Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And now it's time for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, as Samoa Joe defends against Jay Lethal. Now, this has been a huge build-up for a while now, and then Samoa Joe got injured on his shoulder for a while, and it seems they're going to fight again. Teacher versus student is another way they've been putting it as well. And then, as they've said a lot, Jay Lethal is the longest reigning Ring of Honor World Television Champion too. And that's something big to note there. That's hard to do for something so that's hard to accomplish. So this is probably going to be something that'll catch my eye too. This might steal the show too. I don't know though. But within the outcome, Jay Lethal becoming the Ring of Honor World Television Champion again would be pretty awesome, and it would continue on the current Jay Lethal being the heel right now within AEW and Ring of Honor, and Samoa Joe retaining the title could be something big too. Either way, it could be a big moment. Either outcome's will be a big moment, as both of these men have gone up against each other before, but it's something big that's happening here. It hasn't happened in a long time. It's something big that's happening here. So, my prediction here, I'm going to say Samoa Joe retains the Ring of Honor Television Championship, but honestly, we'll see what happens on this one. Like I said with the women's one, I'm probably gonna regret saying that. And now we have the Ring of Honor World Championship. As Jonathan Gresham will take on Lee Moriarty. I did not see this matchup happening. Jonathan Gresham was the face, and then on an episode of Rampage, he turns heel and joins the Tully Blanchard Enterprises. I did not see that coming at all. I can't believe that happened. It was something big. It was shocking. I can't believe that happened. So, I honestly thought that Jonathan Gresham was going to defend against either Brian Cage, or that he was going to defend it against somebody else outside of the Blanchard Enterprises. He did, but I meant not Lee Moriarty. But this is a big moment for Lee Moriarty, as he has to take on one of the most sound technical wrestlers in Ring of Honor. This is something huge. Lee Moriarty with the Taiga style taking on the technical style is going to be something amazing to see. I bet this will be the main event too. Either this or the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. But I guess the World Tag Team Championship match could be the main event too. But this is going to be huge for Lee Moriarty. This is going to be a great matchup too, as Lee Moriarty's Taiga style matches well, in my opinion, with the technical style of Jonathan Gresham. This is kind of one of those things of, does Lee Moriarty, does he get the upset here and become the Ring of Honor World Champion? Or does Jonathan Gresham retain this Ring of Honor World Championship and remain a big role for the Blanchard Enterprises? So here's the thing, I have no idea how this is going to end up going. But I'm going to predict, just for the sake of it, that Jonathan Gresham retains the Ring of Honor World Championship. And bonus prediction, Ring of Honor announces a TV deal, thing, like a weekly basis once again. I also predict there will be at least one return to the Ring of Honor brand, whether that be Bandito, John Walters, Roosh, and many others. So a return or debut for Ring of Honor. It might be one of those things that happens at Super Card of Honor, where Samoa Joe came in and then became All Elite. It might be something like that too. Johnny Gargano comes out and becomes All Elite. I don't know. It's just something that could happen. Or he becomes, or he is introduced, or he comes to the Ring of Honor brand. But I don't know. I think a debut like Samoa Joe's at Super Card of Honor, or a return like Bandito or Roosh, or anybody like that, Dragon Lee even, is probably going to happen too. So that's it for my predictions for the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor stuff, well, maybe. It depends. But this is TPW Talking Pro Wrestling. At the time of this recording, if there is another matchup that's added to it, then I will say I'll see you after this. But if there isn't, then good night, everyone. I am so sorry, guys. I meant Claudio Castagnoli. I don't know where my mind was going. I am so sorry about that. But either way, I still think that Jonathan Gresham will retain his Ring of Honor World Championship against Claudio Castagnoli. But with that out of the way, I think Claudio could become the Ring of Honor World Champion as well. But I'm still... Actually, no. Actually, you know what? I'm going to predict that Claudio Castagnoli becomes the Ring of Honor World Champion. That's my prediction here. I'm so sorry about that. Have a great night, everybody. And now let's go to the 0 hour match that was announced on Dynamite. Allison Kay will take on Willow Nightingale. This is good. I'm glad that there's finally a non-title matchup. It is a 0 hour matchup, so it's going to be, it's probably not going to be anything super awesome, but I'm glad that there's a 0 hour matchup that has been announced, at least for the Death Before Dishonor card. So, for those who do not know, 0 hour is basically like the buy-in to the pay-per-view. Yeah, it's free on YouTube. You can watch it on the Ring of Honor channel. I'm sure will be available on AEW's channel as well. My prediction for this 0 hour match is that Willow Nightingale gets the victory here. That's just something that I see happening. There's not really a right or wrong for this type of matchup. And then we have the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championship match. Well, or the Trios Tag Team Championships. We've got The Righteous, also known as Vincent, Bateman, and Dutch. They will take on Dalton Castle and the Boys. I am super glad that the Ring of Honor Trios Tag Team Championship belts are sticking around. This is great. Something interesting, though, is that Vincent is currently a part of Honor No More, and that he will be... But then there's Ring of Honor. So, credit to Archduke Nemesis for this, but this is what they say. Now I'm wondering what the plan is for Honor No More, now that there's gonna be more Honor. That's a good question. That's a very good question. But it's going to be a good matchup. Like I said, I'm glad the Trios Tag Team Championships are still a thing for Ring of Honor. I would have been upset. The Trios Tag Team Championships is not something that is done often within companies, and Ring of Honor was one of those exceptions who did the Trios Tag titles, and they're bringing them back. And then there's And AEW is going to have a trios tag team championship belts at some point after Kenny returns. And there's also when Lucha Underground existed, they had a trios tag team championship belts. But that's about all I can name. Those three are the only ones that I can name that are having trios tag belts or that had trios tag belts. I can't name any other companies, but if you guys can, that's great. But there's not many companies, that's my point, that do the trios belts. But who's going to become the Ring of Honor Trios Tag Team Championships? That's where I have no idea. This comes into play of figuring out which team would be better off with the Ring of Honor World Trios Tag Team Championships. Would Bateman, Vincent, and Dutch be good fits? Would they make more sense, or would Dalton Castle and the boys make more sense with these trios tag belts? That's the big question here. I'm gonna go out of the blue here. I'm gonna go ahead and predict that Dalton Castle and the boys win this matchup, that they become the Ring of Honor Trios Tag Team Champions. I bet a lot of people are going to say Bateman, Vincent, and Dutch are going to become the Trios Tag Champs. But I think Dalton Castle and the boys being the underdogs here could really surprise all of us. But I'm excited to watch this Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view. Watching it in the United States, you have to watch it on Bleacher Report, BR Live app, BR Live. Outside of the United States, it's available on Fight. So there you guys go. That was the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view. I am now going to go ahead and say thank you all for listening to my podcast. Not just this episode, but if you've been listening to my other episodes as well, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. I have platforms. I have this podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and of course, the app that I use to create this podcast, Anchor. I am not sure if I'm going to be adding more to it, but this is TPW Talking Pro Wrestling. I'll see you guys on the next episode, which will be my Rampage results. The next, literally, some hours, but after Rampage. If you haven't already, take a listen to my Rampage and Impact Wrestling predictions, and also take a look at my Dynamite results. But this is TBW Talking Pro Wrestling. Have a good rest of your morning, and I'll see you guys later tonight for AEW Rampage results and also Impact Wrestling results. Thank you all for listening. Now you guys can go ahead and listen to the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor official theme song, Warzone, once again. Thank you.